Hey, it's your boy SergDragon, and welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters podcast. With me today is Timothy.
If you smell what the lion is cooking.
And Chris Petrie.
Too sweet.
And Mike Henry.
If you're ready for another episode of the Heavens Monsters podcast, give me a hell yeah. I said if you're ready for another episode of the Heavens Monsters podcast, give me a hell yeah.
Yeah.
Get down to business, shall we?
Today we are going to do Monday Night Raw on July 20th. Let's go. If we don't have enough time to do NXT, which I doubt we do, because we love to talk, so let's go ahead. We start the night with Seth Rollins having to break it down as to what happened to Rey Mysterio in the eye for an eye match, and that he was disgusted with what ended in the result, and that it wasn't his fault. Saying it was Rey Mysterio's fault for making that match, and so on and so forth, until Aleister Black came in and told him straight that it was always your fault. It was him, how it has happened. It was all his fault. And then a match ensued at starting off the night, in which case Seth Rollins won the match and had Buddy Murphy help him beat the living hell out of Aleister Black, ultimately damaging his right hand, if I'm correct, constantly over and over. What? What'd you say, Chris?
I didn't say nothing.
Well, somebody did. Never mind.
You hearing things.
No, you heard that speaker go, Well, the hand of Aleister Black is put into question whether he's able to compete next week or not. And all we know is Buddy Murphy is ever the follower of Seth Rollins more than ever. Your thoughts on that, T-Money?
I still think Buddy Murphy sucks.
He sucks. And how about Seth Rollins? How do you think about Seth Rollins?
I still do. I'm still a fan of Seth Rollins, just not that Seth Rollins.
Burn it down.
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
When he was known as the Beast Slayer and the King Slayer.
We'll talk about that in just a bit. So, your thoughts, Chris?
Aleister Black for the hell to fight. Wasn't that injured shoulder, he would have won. But, yeah.
Your thoughts, Mikey?
Bullshit. Total bullshit.
Next up, we have MVP and Bobby Lashley backstage hollering at R-Truth and ultimately getting their word on R-Truth to see what he would do to join the Hurt business. He said, I don't need none of that. Oh, that's too bad to hear. And up from behind is Shelton Benjamin jumping them, and they got an official, and your new 24/7 champion is Shelton Benjamin, now associated fully with the Hurt business group of MVP and Bobby Lashley. So,
just so everyone knows about that, Shelton Benjamin and MVP are friends in real life. And like they know each other since you know what this is, Sergio?
what?
This is the root between those three. This is the ruthless aggression. Because they were part of the ruthless aggression era.
Okay. So, going on with that, we would hear MVP going to the ring, bragging about how the Hurt business is rising and everything else is dropping, including the fact of Apollo Crews not showing up courtesy of injury, and that he is the new WWE United States champion. Ricochet and Cedric Alexander are more than happy to come out defending Apollo Crews, since that's their friend, and ultimately saying that he's not technically the champion, as well as the commentating. And then they go and say, well, who the heck, you ain't gonna fight us? Because they actually challenged them. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. They actually challenge MVP, Bobby Lashley, and Shelton Benjamin in a 6-man tag team match. And MVP is more taunting them, saying, well, then who is it going to be? Because as far as I'm concerned, Apollo Crews is a no-show again. So it's going to be a 3 2-on-2 match. And they're both Ricochet and Cedric Alexander are willing to point out, it's not Apollo Crews that's our partner, but he is making a return to Monday Night Raw. Ladies and gentlemen, the bringer of light, or as he calls himself, the light, Mustafa Ali.
You got 2 cruiserweights and a high flyer. Versus
No, all 3 of them are cruiserweights.
No, I say cruiserweight. I'm talking about 2 who's been in the cruiserweight division.
How much does Ricochet weigh?
He's like between Shawn Michaels and Jeff Hardy.
No. Weight wise. Look it up. Because if he's under 205, he's a cruiserweight.
Yeah, but he's never been in a cruiserweight.
I know. He hasn't. I'm not going to say no to that. He has not. So while he's looking that info up to see if he is a cruiserweight class on the weight scale, in which case, these 3 high flyers, they are technically all high flyers, go up against the Hurt Business.
Weight 188 pounds.
Huh?
188.
He's a cruiserweight then.
Yeah.
205, 205 pounds. He's under that.
But they said that they tell you it says that he's not though.
Yeah, tell that to the actual scale. He's a cruiserweight.
Yeah, but she's like same as Shawn.
Yeah, but he's getting special treatment. That's what you're saying.
No, I said he's like same as Shawn Michaels weight class.
Still under 205, dude. Even Matt Hardy back in the day was trying to reach that so he can qualify for the cruiserweight title. And Buddy Murphy was doing the same thing. When he reached 207, he wasn't qualified to defend the title anymore. He had to be stripped of it. That would made him mad. Anyway, back on the subject. Between this 6-man tag team match, we would see who won. Actually, I'm curious.
Let's see.
Why'd you leave?
I'm trying to go back to where I was. Okay.
Mustafa Ali.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
So the baby faces would win this match, and if I'm correct, they get the drop on Bobby Lashley as well as Shelton Benjamin, leaving MVP all alone in the ring to get Mustafa Ali's signature move, the 450 splash, onto MVP, and they pin him 1, 2, 3. So this is good to see Mustafa Ali. They both started with an M. My bad. Mustafa Ali get a comeback story, in which case he and his 2 buddies are going up against Big Hurt in honor of Apollo Crews. And themselves, really.
It's the Hurt, not Big Hurt.
Sorry, I'm thinking of something else. Big Hurt. The Hurt Business.
Yeah.
So, your thoughts on that, T-Money?
No. I think MVP is a good wrestler. Yeah, I think Shelton is a good wrestler. Not a Bobby Lashley fan but I'm going for MVP and Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin.
But they lost.
Win or lose, still was.
Still was a good match?
No, I'm saying they did okay. I won't say good match or anything. Cause
Your thoughts, Chris?
My favorite one would Bobby Lashley was grabbing Ricochet, Cesar at the center, but he didn't catch Mustafa Ali. He was flying into the announce table.
Oh, yeah, he shot like an arrow. Boom!
You know, it's on
Mustafa
weight.
Ali and Cedric and Ricochet won the match.
Mm-hmm.
Did y'all notice that he put on weight, Mustafa Ali?
Mustafa Ali put on weight, you're saying?
Yeah.
Because technically he's not 205 Live no more, so he can put on the weight. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that would make sense. Your thoughts, Mikey?
It was okay.
It was okay?
Yep, it was okay.
Hey. Next. Yeah, I know. I had to do that too. Damn, that was a lot. Or you went too far.
I was trying to see.
Okay, past that. Next one. There you go.
I was coming down into this.
Backstage, we would have Bianca Belair interviewed as to why she helped Ruby Riott and how is she going to deal with the women's division. And she said straight up, I'm the EST of the WWE, and means I'm the strongest, the fastest, the quickest, the smartest. All that. She ghetto. She ghetto. She's on what? Say it louder. She on what?
She on crack.
Oh, you heard that. You heard T-Money say she on crack. Well, Peyton Royce. What'd you say, Chris?
I said I bet you won't say it to her face.
Yes, I would.
Yes, he would. Well, Peyton Royce is up in her face and talking that smack, saying that she had no business helping out Ruby Riott, that loser. And here Ruby Riott get up in her face and like, who you calling a loser? And she goes and says, you know what? Since you ain't got your buddy, Billy Kay, let's go ahead and make it a one-on-one match. And that's what happened. Ruby Riott versus Billy Kay. In which case, this match ended in an upset because after such a losing streak that Ruby Riott has been in single-wise, she finally gets a win on one of the Iconics, Peyton Royce, and is victorious. Now she's hoping to move on from that, but we have no idea where it will go from there.
If you know me, I'm not intimidated by women wrestlers.
Yeah, he says that, but he hasn't fought.
I never was. You know what I'll be intimidated by?
What?
Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman.
So, no Nia Jax, no Tamina.
No, they ain't that big.
No, Shayna Baszler.
I'm talking about.
And Ronda Rousey.
No.
Yeah, he says that.
No.
He says that until he meets him. He's like, holy shit, they're bigger than I thought.
No, they ain't big in muscle. China I'll probably intimidate her if she's still alive.
Intimidate her. Intimidated by her.
That's what I said.
You said it too fast. It sounded different. Anyway.
As I said, I've never been intimidated by scrawny female wrestlers who like they don't like their muscle or anything.
Yeah, he's just being sexist right now.
I want to play that for you.
So, what are your thoughts on that match, Chris?
Ruby Riott finally got a win, beating Peyton Royce of the Iconics.
You, Mikey? Hello? Mikey! He's MIA. Okay, we'll go on to the next one then.
Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza.
This, if I'm correct, was it for the title? No, I don't think it was.
Not a title match.
Not a title match. You'd think it would be. In which case, Andrade and Angel Garza would talk its smack backstage with Zelina Vega, ultimately spouting out that the Street Profits were too scared to show up on Monday Night Raw after they got beaten up the weeks ago. And the Street Profits popped out of nowhere saying, oh, wow, we ready. We want the smoke. We want the smoke. Let's go. And as the match would go to the ring, and of course, it would be the Street Profits getting the one-up on Andrade and Angel Garza, and they show why they are still these Raw Tag Team Champions. Ultimately, backstage, it would be Zelina Vega who gets on them saying that we got to take this seriously. We don't know if we're going to get another chance. And Andrade and Angel Garza told her, we'll take care of it. I was like, huh? Y'all going to take care of it? Zelina Vega's their manager. How are they going to take care of it? What the? Oh, I'm curious now.
I want to say one thing. I have been intimidated by a wrestler when I met him backstage.
And who's that?
Big Show. That sign thing.
I mean, the fact of his size alone.
I shook his hand. Damn, my hand hurt it.
You shook his hand for real?
Yes.
Oh, you got to meet him for real.
Yeah, my hand hurt. You shake his hand, your hand starts to hurt. Your hand starts to be sore.
He got that strong grip. Ah, my knuckles. My joints, they popped. He popped them.
Your hand's turning red.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so your thoughts on that, Chris?
The Street Profits show Angel Garza and Andrade, and they are the best tag team and tag team champion in the history of Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm. You, Mikey?
He's still my man.
Damn. Let me try something. Mikey!
Probably doing chores.
Yeah. Next up, we have the controversy of what's going on with the Raw Women's title. Courtesy of what happened on the horror show.
Confrontation, not controversy, bro.
Confrontation? Controversy? I gotta look up what the definition is.
Controversy is something that happened like years ago. That's been talked about like since back then.
All right. The confrontation of what's going on with the Raw Women's title, knowing what Bayley did, ultimately led to a confusion as to the result of what is going to happen with the Raw title. Is Asuka still the champion, or is Sasha Banks the new champion? The Kabuki Warriors would come out to handle this until Stephanie McMahon's face showed up on the Grand Monitor. And she would report that each of the titles, the women's tag team titles, the SmackDown women's titles, but as far as the Raw women's titles, she didn't actually win, but neither did Asuka. So in 2 weeks, she said 2 weeks from now.
You gotta say the person's name so I know who you're talking about.
Asuka. In 2 weeks, Stephanie McMahon said that we will have a match between Sasha Banks and Asuka to determine who is the women's champion. So it sounds like Sasha Banks is going to hold on to that title unless Asuka got her hands on it.
Yeah, and the match is set to next week.
Yep, because that was 2 weeks ago, she said. So that's 1 week already about to pass, and the next week will be Monday Night Raw? This Monday night?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
She made that announcement this week. And she's saying that Raw Women's Championship will be defended the next Monday.
It's weird though. She said she would have said next week. So if she says 2 weeks, then it might not be this week. The way she said it.
Yeah, so
I'm like, why are we waiting that long?
Because she probably got messed up though. That's what I'm saying. Because that's what happened.
Yeah, that's probably what happened.
Cause that's what some wrestlers get their things and all that stuff.
Yeah, it says next week. Yeah, it says next Monday.
Yeah, because like if you think about it, that's the writer's fault.
So now we would have, if I'm correct, a match. Yep, between Bayley and Kairi Sane. I know you want to mention what happened. We'll get to that. In this match, Kairi Sane gets the win thanks to the fact of Asuka being on the outside, and Sasha Banks is in absolute shock that Kairi Sane won the match, and it looks good for Asuka come next week. But actually, let's get our thoughts first. Chris, what are your thoughts on that match and the results of the order of Stephanie McMahon?
Well, I like it was like you said, but it will be Asuka versus Sasha Banks, but what he said, what Bayley interfere in that match, Sasha Banks will lose immediately. That means she will be disqualified.
That's right. She's not welcome in that match. She's not welcome in that match. You right.
Yeah. But I'm happy for Kairi Sane. She got to win. She pinned the double champion, SmackDown, and one half of the tag team champion. But I heard this was her last match.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. Mikey, you back yet? Nope. So, leading up with that info is T-Money talking about Kairi Sane.
Kairi Sane announced that this will be her last Monday Night Raw appearance, because she's leaving to join her husband in New Japan Wrestling.
Damn.
And W is trying to make a deal with her to stay, but she really wants to leave.
Damn. We're going to have to wait till next week to find out if she did or not. Or maybe not even that. Might be on Twitter. So with that said, let's go on to the next part. In which case, Drew McIntyre comes out and states his future. But before he could even do that, Dolph Ziggler. What the hell? He's acting like a Karen. He's acting like he entitled to this. He says, I need a Mitch before anybody else. And I knew you had that fear in your eyes. And like, even Drew McIntyre is looking at him and saying, you had everything going for you in that match and you still lost. So no, I am not fighting you again. You don't deserve it.
He feels like Dolph Ziggler feels like he does deserve it because if you think about it, if it wasn't for Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre wouldn't have a job in WWE.
Yeah, but he got his opportunity. He got his stipulation that gave him the ultimate edge. Still lost.
And he also feels like he's the mentor, and Drew McIntyre is the student.
He surpassed the master for sure. Mm-hmm. But that's still not enough. That is still not enough. He begs him, tells him, I need one more match. He going Christian on him. I need one more match, and I will do anything. So name your stipulation. It's like, you serious? He mentions this. Those years and that law degree you earned come in handy because you just changed my mind. So he agrees to this match, and Dolph Ziggler wants him to tell him what the stipulation is, and he says, nah, man, I'm going to do the exact same you did. I'm going to name the stipulation right before the bell. So I'm thinking this match is next week or so because this doesn't sound like another pay-per-view match. This doesn't sound like a SummerSlam match.
Because when Drew McIntyre said he wants to put his title on against Randy Orton.
Oh,
that's what he wants to do.
Now that sounds like a main event match.
He has to talk with Vince McMahon about that to do that.
Your thoughts on that, T-Money?
I guess if he feels like he deserves another shot. Because I feel like that match that had Extreme Rules was terrible. So I guess he wants to give him what he wants. Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm. And you, Chris, what do you think about that match? I mean, that promo.
Well, Dolph Ziggler is a sore loser.
You got that right.
And a whiner.
You got that right, too.
I don't know about that.
Drew McIntyre headbutted him, and he left the ring because he should have been back in the line and let someone challenge Drew McIntyre for the title. But he won his rematch. So next week we might get a rematch.
Mm-hmm. Mikey, are you back? Do we got a bad connection? Is he talking? I can't see him. Turn your camera on, Mikey, if you're there.
He's out?
Yeah, he's not there. He's probably doing nighttime chores. I'll leave him to that. He's got responsibilities. I'm not going to say nothing.
Sleep phone.
No, I yelled at the phone. He would hear me. I've done it before. He's like, Mikey! I'm here. So with that said, the last part of the show would actually be the unsanctioned match between Randy Orton and The Big Show. So first off, we got to mention that Ric Flair didn't show up. Mm-hmm. Big Show did a promo before this match talking about the good old days, where they were actually got a nickname for themselves that was not TV branded. It was just for fun. Where Big Show was the hammer and Randy Orton was the chisel. And they would go around having things, doing that, having fun. But this Randy Orton is not the friend he made back then. This is somebody else different, and he plans on taking him out. Randy Orton, on the other hand, is saying that anyone that gets in my way is going to be taken care of. but dealt with. Sorry.
He's been saying that for years, and like guys like Triple H, John Cena, Shawn Michaels,
Brock Lesnar. There you go.
And The Undertaker and Hulk Hogan have all destroyed Randy Orton.
In which case, he did say this much. He said that the friends he thought he had are no longer the friends. So I'm starting to think he might be going. He might just go and attack Ric Flair at some point. It's going to get to that.
One more guy, Booker T, said the same thing too.
Yeah. So, in which case, let's get down to the fact that the match would go on, and it would look like a damn street fight. We would have tables, we would have chairs, we would have the stairs, we have this. The only thing we're missing is ladders. And I think there was a kendo stick. No, I don't think there was. Never mind. And even gone so far as Andrade as well as Angel Garza jumped Big Show at one point, and here comes the Viking Raiders to his aid, and they ended up disappearing after the commercial break. So it went back to one-on-one, and Randy Orton would go relentless on Big Show with the chair over and over and over until he hit not one, and again later on, hit him with 2 RKOs to get the pinfall. And even then, that wasn't enough. Randy Orton, while Big Show was high enough on the second middle rope, Randy Orton would back up and go for the punt kick right into his jaw, damn near giving him a concussion. Just like he did with Edge and Christian. And he kept his word. He kept his word.
Well, that'll take a legend like him out, because like you think about it, they're in their 40s. They have had a lot of concussions before. It's just that it won't do work on a younger talent wrestler.
In which case, gotta say this much. Randy Orton, once again, like with Edge, as well as Christian, was spouting out nonsense, but this time he was more aggressive. He was telling them that this is his show and this is his business, this is his world. We are starting to see more and more of the real legend killer, Randy Orton, than the Viper than we ever seen before. He's straight up saying it. This is his world now.
Because remember he turned into that in 2007.
Mm-hmm.
And then he evolved in 2009 because remember he had a feud with the McMahon family.
Mm-mm. And then he fought alongside them years after.
Yeah, I still understand why.
It's storyline wise. And that would be the end of the show, if I'm correct. So your thoughts on that, Team Money?
Randy Orton. I like this Randy Orton, but when you tag my boy Big Show, that's just messed up, man.
Uh-huh.
I like Big Show. Always been a Big Show fan.
You, Chris?
I don't like this Randy Orton. He got with an Edge and Christian, now Big Show. Now, who's going to be man enough to step up to face Randy Orton?
If you remember, after what happened with Christian, Edge made a promo saying that maybe he has to go more rated R. So at some point, Edge will come back and be more heel than babyface.
No, you mean like show his ruthless aggression side. That's a better word for it.
You show that ruthless aggression.
Because you remember John Cena did it.
So, Mikey, you back yet? No. MIA. So, with that said,
It's not like him sleeping.
Is that hold your breath, Chris? Hold up. I think it is him sleeping. Mikey! I think we just best leave him alone then.
Yeah.
All right then. Chris, did I miss anything?
No.
Good. All right then. Ready to end this, boys? This is a first in a long time. Still with us here is Team Money. So with that said, let's end this show. Shout out to our fellow brethrens of the Heavens Monsters podcast. We got Xavier Hill, Mikey, who's MIA, but still shout out to him, and Andre Mitchell. A link to their YouTube channels will be in the descriptions down below. As a remaining shout out to Chris Petrie, Team Money, Renee, Farrell, and Delvin. And if you like this video, give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. Hit that subscribe button, like the content, and hit that notification bell for the next Heavens Monsters podcast. I'm SergDragon. This is Team Money. This is Chris Petrie. And this, I guess, is Mike Henry still. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.